assault, attempted murder, teen pregnancy. Those are not the plot lines of a family TV show. They're better suited for Law and Order SVU, or perhaps Beverly Hills 90210. Not a wholesome family show. However, in February of 1981, Little House on the Prairie aired the episode Sylvia, which dealt with those very subjects.
Sylvia was the 17th episode of the hit family show's 7th season. It was shown in 2 parts, debuting on February 9th, 1981, just in time for Valentine's Day. The episode centered around a 15-year-old girl, Sylvia Webb, played by a then 16-year-old Olivia Barash. Right from the start, viewers were given a sense that this particular episode of Little House was gonna be a little different. You see, the show starts with the local schoolboys looking through the lingerie section of a catalog at Olson's Mercantile. Huh? When Mr. Olson puts an end to the shenanigans, the boys decide to satisfy their curiosities by going to peep at a local schoolgirl named Sylvia, who's apparently maturing rather quickly. Yeah, families who gathered in the living room for the weekly showing of Little House on the Prairie must have been scratching their heads, wondering what's going on. You see, there was a lot more to this episode than just a bunch of curious boys trying to sneak a peek at a maturing female classmate. The Sylvia episode was written and directed by Little House star and showrunner Michael Landon, who had proven with past episodes that he's not afraid to occasionally take Little House into dark territory. A year earlier, Michael Landon wrote and directed the episode May We Make Them Proud, in which Mary and Adam's little baby, along with Alice Garvey, well, they were both killed when the blind school burned down. And then way back in Season 4, Landon helmed the episode My Ellen, which dealt with the tragic drowning death of one of Laura's classmates. Then it showcases the girl's grief-stricken mother and her descent into madness. But Sylvia was something completely different. Something on a whole new level. It may have started with a bunch of curious schoolboys spying on a blossoming classmate, but it quickly turned into something much more shocking. You see, the audience learns that Willie Olson and his classmates aren't the only ones spying on Sylvia. Thanks to an eerie close-up of a peering eyeball, director Michael Landon lets the audience know that there's another person who's been watching Sylvia. And before too long, a masked assailant grabs Sylvia from behind when she's alone in the woods on her way home from school. Thankfully, we don't see what transpires, but the aftermath tells us all we need to know when she shows up bruised and battered on her doorstep. Viewers eventually learn that the masked man brutally assaulted Sylvia in those woods, and a visit to Dr. Baker reveals another horrifying truth. The attack has left Sylvia pregnant. Now, adding even more layers to this unfolding drama, Albert has befriended Sylvia. He feels bad for spying on her, and the two eventually fall in love. One of the most disturbing things about this episode is how the town deals with the aftermath of Sylvia's attack. Her father, for one, is more concerned about the shame that his pregnant daughter will bring to the family. He decides it's better to keep it all hush and leave town, rather than to go searching for the attacker. Now, Albert does tell his family what's going on, and he wants to marry Sylvia and raise the baby as his own, even though it's clearly someone else's. His mother, Caroline, the voice of reason, advises him that Sylvia may not love or want this baby, since it was conceived from a place of hate.
How does Sylvia feel about the baby? Have you asked her?
No.
The child was not conceived in love. It was a cruel, a brutal thing. It won't be that easy for that girl to forget.
Which makes sense, but still. No one in town seems concerned that there's a rapist on the loose. Where's the town meeting? Where's the posse? Shouldn't the men have gathered at Olson's Mercantile and stocked up on weapons and ropes and lanterns and gone looking for this wacko? Nellie could be next.
Think hard. Monkey business. Monkey business. Monkey business. Monkey business.
With seemingly no one on their side or willing to help, Albert and Sylvia run away together, and they plan to elope. Unfortunately, her attacker will not let her go so easily. The masked assailant strikes again when Sylvia is hiding in an abandoned barn waiting for Albert. Thankfully, Albert arrives just in time to fight off the crazy man, who's revealed to be none other than Mr. Edwards. No, just kidding. Who's revealed to be none other than town blacksmith Irv Hartwig, who's also Albert's boss. And he would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for these meddling kids. Anyway, I would have liked to see a less obvious and more shocking reveal. Not Mr. Edwards, but maybe Dr. Baker. Anyway, sadly, Sylvia falls from a ladder while trying to escape the attack. Irv Hartwig is eventually killed when Sylvia's father arrives with Mr. Ingalls and shoots the madman just before he's about to kill Albert. But there is no happy ending in this downer of an episode. Sylvia dies a short while later, succumbing to her injuries from the fall. Gone with her is the unborn child. Now Albert's by her side when she passes, but not before Sylvia imagines what kissing Albert on their wedding day would have been like. It's a real punch to the gut ending as the screen fades to black. Sylvia and the events surrounding her are never mentioned again on the show. The next time we see Albert a few episodes later, he's his old cheery self, as if the most heartbreaking, adult, gut-wrenching experience of his life never happened. Now, while the episode certainly didn't fit the mold of your typical Little House on the Prairie, it was still a hit in terms of ratings. The show was watched by nearly 18 million people according to Nielsen reports. And the Part 2 conclusion? That was the number 3 show of the week, behind only Dallas and 60 Minutes. Even more amazing, this dark and adult-themed episode, well, it has an audience rating of 8.4 on IMDb. That's the highest rating of any Season 7 episode, even beating out the 8.3 that the Laura and Almanzo wedding episode received. Why? Who knows? After 7 seasons, perhaps audiences have grown tired of the predictable, syrupy, sweet Little House formula. The wholesome entertainment with a positive message that leaves you with a good feeling. Maybe they were looking for something a little different, a change of pace. Michael Landon was obviously aware of the impact as he continued to take Little House into dark places every so often. For example, in the Season 8 episode Chicago, Mr. Edwards' oldest son, John Jr., gets murdered. And who can forget the Season 9 episode Home Again, where Albert famously battles a morphine addiction. As for Olivia Barash, well, she was nominated for a Young Artist Award for her role as Sylvia Webb, and she continued to act sporadically. Following her guest role on Little House, she appeared in Repo Man in 1984. The following year, she appeared opposite Robert Downey Jr. in the teen drama Tough Turf. And in 1987, she had a supporting role in the TV series Fame, playing Maxie Sharp. Barash also did a few low-budget movies and a couple of TV episodes of Night Court. Her last TV role, according to IMDb, was a guest spot on 21 Jump Street in 1989. Now, eventually, Olivia Barash reportedly got a job working at the LA club The Viper Room. Now, according to a 2013 Kickstarter campaign page, Barash was attempting to raise money to produce a documentary about her experiences at the famed Los Angeles club owned by Johnny Depp, but it apparently never materialized. Now, if you'd like to see the Sylvia episode for yourself, it's available, streaming along with the entire Little House series on Peacock. So, do you remember the episode? Comment your thoughts below and follow for more nostalgic TV and movie content.